Good evening. Welcome to Songwriter Spotlight. I am not Keith Shirley, obviously, but my name is Sonia and I will be your host tonight. I am the director here at the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center, where we work to preserve and promote the musical heritage of West Tennessee. We do that through the Tina Turner Museum, the Sleepy John Estes Home, and our West Tennessee Music Museum located on our campus. If you've not been here, let this be my personal invitation to you to please come, visit our exhibits, take a look at what all we have to offer here. We're just right off of I-40, exit 56 in Brownsville, Tennessee. And we're an official location on the Tennessee Music Pathways, as you can see, as well as the Americana Music Triangle. Tennessee designates the last week of February as Tennessee Songwriters Week, and we thought February was a great month to start our new Songwriter series, where we'll be spotlighting the great, incredible talent of musicians here in West Tennessee. So tonight we have with us Joe Eskridge. Joe is from Halls, Tennessee, but he also spent some time in Nashville writing. So I'm sure we'll hear more about Nashville and those adventures as we get started. Joe, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. So let's just start at the beginning. Tell me how you got interested in music and songwriting.
All right. Well, I've been playing music since I was a kid, probably 8, 9 years old. My dad played music from the time he was 14, 13, 12 years old. He played the honky-tonk piano mostly when he was a kid. So Daddy had always played music. So by the time we came along, John, my brother and I, Daddy put a bass in my hand and put a set of drums in my brother's. And so we started playing like family reunions, that kind of stuff, just around the house. Company would come over. And then around 18, went off to college and I bought me a guitar my senior year. I bought a guitar from BJ's Music in Dyersburg, Tennessee. And that's about the time videos were coming out and videos were a thing. So you could watch a country music video and you could watch the chords being played. And that's kind of how I learned to play guitar. And then through college, that's where I learned, I was the only country singer I went to school over at Lambeth. And I was the only kid that played country over there. Everybody else was a lot cooler than I was, and they were playing a lot faster, more sophisticated music than I was. And then I've just always just played ever since. I just sitting in the house, just always had a guitar around in my hand. So I've been playing since probably 8, 9 years old.
So what's the first song you're going to play for us tonight?
I'll start off with something fast to try to get the blood flowing a little bit. It was a song that I'd written with some buddies of mine that I developed friendships with when I lived in Nashville. We had a little writers group that we would do writers nights kind of together as a group. We would just all pile into a place. One of the places we used to go was a place called Music City Rush Bar at the old King of the Road Hotel off of the Cumberland River right there downtown. And that's where I really let myself go and okay, I'm going to be a part of this. I don't care what happens. I just want to be around these people. And so a couple of the guys that were part of that group was a guy named Mike Cool and a guy named J.D. Edge. And J.D. Edge is a touring, he tours currently as an artist, and his band's name is Rebel Railroad. And then Mike Cool he's been swinging for the fence for the last 15 years, and he's a prolific writer, and he's one contact away from being the it thing. I just know it. So anyway, we wrote this one night. We used to go over to Mike's apartment, and we would tool around, and this was one we wrote one night called Money Don't Buy Happiness. Grandpa told me when I asked him the question, son, you might as well listen. Learn this lesson from a grumpy, crusty, salty old man like me. Well, you wanna know the key to the good life? Don't get suckered in by a picket fence and sweet wife. The best things in this world don't come free. Well, it can build you a castle or a mansion on a hill. The ching-a-ling-a-ling and the dollar bills, all about the prestige, status, and the wealth. It can buy you pretty, get you looking good, make you the envy of the neighborhood. Money don't buy happiness, but it sure buys everything else. Well, Grandpa gave me an old silver dollar that he got from working his first blue-collar job down at the factory around the bend. He said, I used to carry it just for luck, but the truth is, boy, it's just $1, and one won't buy you much of anything in the end. Get you a lot and it can build you a castle or a mansion on a hill. The ching-a-ling-a-ling and the dollar bills, all about the prestige, status, and the wealth. It can buy you pretty, get you looking good, make you the envy of the neighborhood. Money don't buy happiness, but it sure buys everything else. Well, now, as luck would have it, that coin was in my hand when I bought that scratch off at the newsstand. And man, old Grandpa sure would be proud of me, 'cause I found a way to get filthy rich without busting my back digging a ditch. If you want the good life, you got to hit the lottery like me. Now, to build me a castle or a mansion on a hill, the ching-a-ling-a-ling of my dollar bills, I'm all about the prestige, status, and the wealth. Well, it bought me pretty, got me looking good, and now I'm the envy of my neighborhood. Money don't buy happiness, but it bought me everything else. Lord, money don't buy happiness, but it bought me everything else. There you go.
Well, that was a great song to get us started with. So you spent time in Nashville. Do you consider yourself a country artist? Are your songs all country?
Well, everything is, I guess, whatever this Americana genre is. I mean, I try to, a lot of it, like on the songs that I've recorded and stuff, a lot of them have like a kind of a bluegrass kind of feel to them. The arrangements are kind of that way, so I guess that's kind of what I am. Plus I'm twangy and nasally, so I'm somewhere in that mix, I guess.
So what have you got for us next?
Let's see. How about, so that was off of my second record, which is called Runway, and that did that somewhere around 2015, I think. We were raising money for the Veterans Museum over at Halls. I had done one in 2012 for St. Jude, and that album was called Lines. And probably on that record, this song here was also written with Mike Cool, a friend of mine that I talked about a while ago, and it was the one that seemed to get some attention. It never got full traction, but it got some traction when we were living up there as I tried to pitch it and stuff. And this song's called She Ain't Coming Back. If there was a way around the truth, I would find it. And if the truth weren't so cold, I wouldn't mind it. But I've gotta face the music, I've gotta go by the facts. She ain't coming back. It looks like it's gonna hurt like this for a while. Should have seen this coming by a country mile. She made love to me like an earthquake, and I let her slip through the crack. She ain't coming back. No, she ain't coming back. Not tonight, not ever. Damn my heart for not being able to let her go. No, she ain't coming back. By now I should know better. I hope it doesn't hurt like this tomorrow. 'Cause she's a train that moved on down the track. She ain't coming back. Guess I never loved her the way she deserved to be. But the thought of her leaving never worried me. So it hit like hell to see her fade into the midnight black. She ain't coming back. No, she ain't coming back. Not tonight, not ever. Damn my heart for not being able to let her go. No, she ain't coming back. By now I should know better. I hope it doesn't hurt like this tomorrow. Since she's a train that moved on down the track, she ain't coming back. From the bedroom to the driveway, she found the confidence she lacked. She was leaving all this baggage with her suitcases packed. That Civic loaded down, heading me like a Mac. She ain't coming back. No, she ain't coming back. Not tonight, not ever. Damn my heart for not being able to let her go. No, she ain't coming back. By now I should know better. I hope it doesn't hurt like this tomorrow. Since she's a train that moved on down the track, she ain't coming back. She ain't coming back.
Nice. So where do you draw your inspiration from?
Well, over the years, I was trying to write what I heard on the radio and stuff. I was trying to mimic other things, and it was mostly I let go of all of that. There was a window of time in 2016. I sort of write in windows, like a time period will come and I'll be prolific for a while, and then it just like it goes away, and then I kind of wait for the muse to come back around, and then I try to jump on and ride it out as long as I can. So around 2016, my mother had passed away in 2015, and it's kind of a mourning period that goes on there, and so I had a little writing room that I had set up, and I would go there and just kind of write. and started letting myself go more and started writing more of what I was feeling instead of what I was hearing and trying to mimic. So around 2016 is where I kind of began to let it go. And so now I just draw it from the things that are going on with me. I write a lot more about home, a lot more about my relationship with my wife, and I write a lot about the Mississippi River bottoms. I enjoy taking my wife and my son. We'll go down there, in the summertime on the side by side, and we'll spend 3 or 4 hours down there just to check out from the world for a while. So I write some about that, and whatever strikes me on any given day.
Do you have one about the bottom you can share with us?
Let's see. Well, I wrote this one the other day. Let's try it. This one's called West Coast, Tennessee. We were going down to when the water was down over the summer. There's a place you can go. You can ride along the levee and then jump off, and then there's this little pocket of water, and then it jumps over to an island that only is exposed enough where you can get across there about half the year. So it's called Island 21. So we were taking the side by side, and we were going over there. And the sand, it was sand in every direction as far as you could go. So we were sitting there one day, and Lyric, my little boy, was casting, and I was like, we're sitting on the west coast of Tennessee right now. So anyway, that's where the line came from. She said, I love you, but I gotta go. If I don't, I'll never know if there's life beyond this blood. Lauderdale won't ever be enough for me. Said, I love you too, I won't ask you to stay. You'd never be happy here anyway. Last kiss light goes down over the river in that bottom ground, lonely. Now she's West Coast, California. I'm West Coast, Tennessee. Back to the life before you, back to being me. Memories don't always warn you in the land of make-believe. She's West Coast, California. I'm West Coast, Tennessee. See you on the book and on the gram. You forgot who you were and who I am. Last kiss light goes down over the river and bottom ground, lonely. Now she's West Coast, California. I'm West Coast, Tennessee. Back to the life before you, back to being me. Memories don't always warn you in the land of make-believe. She's West Coast, California. I'm West Coast, Tennessee. She's West Coast, California. I'm West Coast, Tennessee. California, Tennessee.
If you're just joining us, we are Songwriter Spotlight here at the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center in Brownsville, Tennessee. Our artist tonight, our songwriter, is Joe Eskridge of Halls, Tennessee. So Joe, you said your son's name is Lyric. Is there a story behind that?
His name is Lyric Chanson, and chanson, pronounced in French, is chanson, which is French for song. So he's a little miracle himself. So he came along in our lives and turned us in a new direction. So that he's a very, very special person. And Elizabeth it was all Elizabeth's doing. I mean, we decided on Lyric because of the songwriting, and our friend circle was all songwriters and stuff. So we knew Lyric, and then she was Googling at lunch one day, and she saw French for song was chanson, chanson. So that's how we ended up with that name. Yeah.
So you have inspiration all around you when he's around.
Well, among other things I have around me, Legos and Matchbox cars and inspiration, yes.
How old is he?
He's 7.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 7.
You were in Nashville, you were doing the songwriter thing, you were in songwriter circles, you were all encompassed in that environment there in Nashville. What brought you back to Halls, Tennessee?
It was Lyric. We tried for a lot of years. I'm just going to get personal here and just tell you, but my wife and I couldn't have children, and so we tried for years, and she had surrendered it one Tuesday night. I remember vividly the conversation. I was on the road traveling. She called and said, "Look, I've surrendered it. I'm worrying. I'm done crying. I'm done fretting." And it was within a week that this wonderful woman, she was in her 40s and had grown children, and she had gotten pregnant just randomly, had just randomly gotten pregnant. I mean, it was a complete divine. I mean, it was just divine. And she literally was praying to God almost at the same time Elizabeth was for an answer. She went into work the next day, and she heard my sister telling our story to somebody just randomly in the store at the time. And she heard the story, and she's like, "Okay, God, I heard you loud and clear." And so we ended up together talking, and she was just a miracle. I mean, we were in the delivery room, and Lyric came out in Elizabeth's arms because we were familiar with who the delivery doctor was, and he literally was delivered into Elizabeth's arms. First person to hold him. And so it was a miracle. The lady is in our lives every day, and so it's just whenever I get the chance, I try to tell it. If more than one person's going to listen, I'm going to tell the story. So anyway, how we got back, that was a long way around to how we came back. We were living up there, and this little miracle came along out of nowhere, and we weren't financially prepared for it. Both sets of grandparents lived here, and I couldn't bear the thought of him not being around. I had the 2 greatest parents ever. I couldn't bear the thought of him not knowing them on a daily basis. And Elizabeth was the same way. We're both from the same town, so we just got to do it. And so we sold everything, packed up, and we moved home. And my parents have since gone on home to be with God, but my 7-year-old, they impacted him to such a degree that he literally every day talks about them. And so whatever it cost me to not be around music there anymore, it was well worth it. So
Wow. How do you follow that with a song?
For that divine intervention into my life, someone who is absolutely undeserving. I mean, I really did some bad things, and I made some bad choices and some bad mistakes, and I burned some bridges, and carrying that guilt for years and years and years and years. It takes its toll on you emotionally and physically, and so I burned a bridge with someone who was very important to me, and just because of my decisions and choices. And so I was driving home one night, and the phrase "find forgiveness" popped in my head, and I'm just thinking, because I'm kind of having a dialogue. It was just something I just did. I just had this dialogue with myself all the time. So, man, you really screwed up. Why, why'd you do that? You really screwed up. And this phrase popped in my head: find forgiveness. And I'm like, okay. And so I went in the next day and I wrote this song called "Find Forgiveness." I don't think that I can change the way you feel about me. Your mind's made up, that's just the way it is. And I don't think that I can undo all the wrong things done, no matter what or how many days I live. A higher power forgave me for it. But sometimes I still can't ignore it and find forgiveness. Live in the stillness, unfinished business just might have to stay. Paths get overgrown and they make it hard to get back home. Sometimes the road you're on's the only way. Guilt's a greedy debtor. Things don't always get better, so find forgiveness. I know God made you, but I made you feel this way. Things I did and didn't do and didn't say. Older and wiser helps overcome the pain. Time has its own way of mending anything. Nothing more than pleasing you would please me. But life ain't always that easy. To find forgiveness, live in the stillness, unfinished business just might have to stay. Paths get overgrown and they make it hard to get back home. Sometimes the road you're on's the only way. Guilt's a greedy debtor. Things don't always get better, so find forgiveness. Find forgiveness. Find forgiveness. Find forgiveness.
Thank you all for being here tonight, for joining us for our Songwriter Spotlight. We hope that you're enjoying it. Be sure and be here next Thursday night, 6 p.m., and we'll spotlight another incredible artist from this area. Joe, thank you for being a part of this as well. It's been really fun tonight, listening to your stories, hearing your music. Is there one you can play us out on?
Yeah, this is the last one that I wrote. Just like a week old. And I lost my father on Christmas Eve 2019. So I wrote this about my dad, and anyway, he's the reason that I play. He's the reason that I have loved music my whole life, and yeah, this is for him. Old brown Adirondack. Left side front door, his favorite place to sit at and watch the world from his porch. We could sit there for hours, hardly say anything, but in that quiet there was power. Still hear the creak of that swing. Now my mind races, wishing for one more cast. It retraces all those things from long past. If I had the chance, what would I ask? Are there $2 tickets? And are they all winners? Do you eat fried chicken every night for dinner? Do you and Mama get in the car every afternoon and drive? Is it really spring every day there on the other side? And are you in peace at last? It's what I'd ask.